The massive starship cast a long shadow over Earth's atmosphere, its metallic hull gleaming with an eerie blue-green light.
Captain June Park stood motionless in the underground command center, watching the holographic displays that tracked the alien vessel's every movement. For weeks, humanity had detected the approaching ship. Intelligence agencies worldwide had been on high alert, preparing for what seemed like an inevitable confrontation. The Collective, as they called themselves, had a reputation for swift and merciless planetary conquests across multiple star systems.
June's fingers hovered over the communication console.
His team of specialists experts in linguistics, military strategy, and xenocommunication waited with held breaths.
Nobody moved. The tension was so thick it could be cut with a knife.
The alien ship began sending rapid pulses of communication, strange mathematical sequences that normally preceded invasion protocols. Most human military advisors recommended immediate defensive preparations. Missile systems were primed.
Orbital defense platforms were activated. The world held its collective breath. But June saw something different in the transmission patterns.
Between the aggressive mathematical signals, there were subtle variations, almost like a hidden message waiting to be decoded. Where others saw threat, he saw complexity. "Wait," he said quietly, stopping the military personnel from initiating defensive countermeasures. His lead communication specialist, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, had been analyzing the signals. She looked up, her eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. "There's something unusual about these transmissions," she muttered.
June understood.
The signals weren't just random aggressive patterns. They contained layers of information, nuanced, almost communicative. In that moment, instead of preparing for war, June made a decision that would change human history forever. He instructed his team to prepare a diplomatic response, not a defensive stance, not a threat, but a genuine request for dialogue. The communication was simple yet unprecedented: "We request diplomatic negotiations." The alien ship's signals suddenly stopped. For several minutes, absolute silence filled the command center. Every screen, every sensor was focused on the massive vessel hovering above Earth.
Then, unexpectedly, a response came.
Not with weapons or invasion signals, but with a complex communication sequence that suggested something remarkable. The aliens were as surprised by the human approach as humans were by their arrival. June realized they had done something no species had apparently done before in the Collective's known history.
Instead of showing fear or immediate aggression, humans had chosen dialogue.
The command center erupted in a mix of tension and cautious excitement.
Military personnel exchanged confused glances. Scientists began rapid calculations.
Communication specialists started decoding the alien response.
Outside, in cities across the globe, people were unaware of the extraordinary moment unfolding. Traffic moved. People worked. Children played.
Completely unknowing that their entire species' future might be determined in this single moment of first contact. Dr. Rodriguez looked at June, her expression a mixture of professional calm and underlying excitement.
"They're actually responding to our diplomatic request," she said, her voice slightly trembling.
June nodded, understanding the magnitude of what was happening. This wasn't just a military encounter.
This was a potential turning point for human civilization.
The alien ship remained motionless, its massive form casting a shadow over the blue planet.
Sensors continued collecting data. Communication channels remained open.
And for the first time in recorded galactic history, a species facing potential invasion had chosen conversation over confrontation. As the first detailed response from the alien vessel began streaming into their systems, June knew nothing would ever be the same again. Humanity had just changed the rules of interstellar engagement.
The International Conference Chamber was unlike any diplomatic meeting in human history. Sleek white walls surrounded a circular table where human representatives sat facing the alien delegation.
The room's design was intentionally neutral: no national flags, no symbols of power, just a clean, minimalist space designed to facilitate communication. Ambassador Hai Kim adjusted her simple black suit, her posture calm and controlled. Beside her sat experts from various fields: linguists, scientists, military strategists, and cultural anthropologists. Each had been carefully selected for this unprecedented moment of first contact.
The alien representatives were unlike anything humans had imagined.
They weren't the grotesque monsters from science fiction movies, but complex beings with intricate biological interfaces. Their communication happened through a combination of light patterns, subtle body movements, and complex vibrational frequencies that required advanced translation technology.
Dr. Marcus Chen, the lead xenolinguist, worked rapidly on a sophisticated translation device.
His fingers moved quickly across holographic displays, decoding the complex communication patterns of the alien delegation. "They're confused," he whispered to Hai.
"Our approach is completely outside their expected interaction protocols." Hai knew this was their advantage.
The collective had encountered hundreds of civilizations before, but none had responded quite like humans. Where other species showed fear or immediate aggression, humans were presenting a calculated, strategic offer of mutual understanding.
The initial proposal was simple yet revolutionary. Humans weren't asking for protection or begging for mercy.
Instead, they were proposing a comprehensive technological and cultural exchange program. The aliens' communication patterns suggested increasing confusion and curiosity. One of the alien representatives, a being with multiple sensory appendages and a complex neural network visible through translucent skin, seemed particularly intrigued.
Its light patterns suggested a mix of skepticism and genuine interest. Hai began her presentation.
She spoke about human history not as a story of constant conflict, but as a narrative of adaptation, innovation, and unexpected resilience. She highlighted humanity's ability to overcome global challenges, from climate change to technological revolutions. The translation device converted her words into a complex series of light pulses, vibrational frequencies, and mathematical sequences that the aliens could comprehend. "We don't see this as a conquest or submission," Hai explained.
"We see this as a potential partnership." The room felt charged with an electric sense of possibility.
Military personnel who had prepared for potential conflict now watched in silent amazement.
Scientists leaned forward, their professional curiosity completely engaged.
Dr. Chen's translation device worked overtime, converting the nuanced human communication into something the aliens could fully understand. Every word, every gesture was carefully calculated to demonstrate humanity's unique potential.
The alien delegation's response was not what anyone expected.
Instead of aggressive signals or dismissive communication, they began asking detailed questions. They wanted to understand human social structures, technological capabilities, and cultural dynamics.
Hai recognized this as a breakthrough.
The aliens weren't preparing for invasion, they were genuinely trying to understand this unexpected species that had presented itself so differently from any civilization they had encountered before.
Hours passed. The initial 2-hour meeting extended into a full-day session. Cultural experts shared information. Scientists discussed potential collaborative research.
The boundaries between us and them began to blur. As the first day of negotiations concluded, something remarkable had happened.
What could have been a moment of potential planetary destruction had transformed into an opportunity for unprecedented interstellar communication.
Outside the conference chamber, the world continued its normal rhythm, completely unaware of the extraordinary dialogue happening within.
Traffic moved. People worked. Children played. But everything was about to change. Hai Kim looked at the alien delegation and saw something she didn't expect: respect. Not submission, not threat, but genuine, mutual respect. The presentation room was silent, filled with an anticipatory tension that could be cut with a knife.
Dr. Wu Chen stood at the center, surrounded by holographic displays that shimmered with complex data streams.
The alien delegation watched with multiple sensory organs, their translucent skin flickering with light patterns of intense curiosity.
Wu's hands moved across the holographic interface, bringing up a series of quantum computing simulations that made the alien technology look almost primitive.
Each projection revealed layers of human technological innovation that challenged everything the collective believed about Earth's capabilities. The first demonstration focused on quantum entanglement.
Where the alien technology required massive energy systems, human researchers had developed compact quantum communication networks that could transmit information across unprecedented distances with minimal energy consumption. A young researcher named Gene Park activated a small device no larger than a smartphone. Instantly, complex mathematical sequences danced across the screens, showing instantaneous communication between multiple quantum nodes.
The alien representatives leaned forward, their biological interfaces pulsing with what could only be described as technological excitement.
"We don't just develop technology," Wu explained carefully.
"We reimagine fundamental approaches to problem solving." The next demonstration targeted medical technology. A holographic model of human DNA appeared, showing advanced genetic editing techniques that could potentially reverse cellular aging.
The alien delegation's communication patterns suggested a mix of disbelief and genuine amazement. Gene brought forward a series of medical nanobots, microscopic machines capable of targeted cellular repair.
Each bot was smaller than a human blood cell but capable of complex medical interventions.
The alien sensory appendages moved in what seemed like technological appreciation.
Wu understood this was more than a simple technological showcase.
This was a strategic demonstration of human potential.
Each presentation was carefully designed to show not just current capabilities, but the innovative thinking behind human technological development. The room felt charged with an electric sense of possibility.
Military experts who had accompanied the delegation watched silently, understanding the strategic importance of this moment.
Every demonstration was a subtle message. Humans were not a species to be underestimated.
A breakthrough simulation of artificial intelligence caught the aliens' attention.
Unlike their rigid computational systems, human AI showed remarkable adaptability.
The demonstration showed an AI system solving complex interdisciplinary problems, learning and evolving in real time. "Our technology is not just about power," Wu explained.
"It's about adaptation, creativity, and unexpected solutions."
The alien delegation's communication patterns became increasingly complex. Their initial assumptions about human technological capabilities were being systematically dismantled. Where they expected primitive systems, they found innovative approaches that challenged their entire understanding of technological development. Gene activated a final demonstration, a compact fusion energy prototype that could potentially revolutionize power generation. The device was no larger than a standard refrigerator but generated energy at levels that made the aliens' current energy systems look inefficient.
Hours passed.
What began as a technological presentation had transformed into a profound dialogue about innovation, potential, and the nature of technological progress. The aliens were no longer viewing humans as a potential conquest, but as a species with genuine technological potential. As the demonstration concluded, something remarkable had happened.
The power dynamics had shifted.
Humans were not presenting themselves as a weak species to be conquered, but as potential technological partners with capabilities that could complement the collective's existing systems. Wu and Gene exchanged a subtle glance. They had done more than demonstrate technology. They had shown the true essence of human innovation, the ability to think differently, to reimagine possibilities, and to create solutions that defied existing technological paradigms. The alien delegation's communication patterns suggested a profound realization. Humanity was not just another species to be categorized and controlled. They were something entirely unexpected, a civilization of innovators, dreamers, and unexpected problem solvers.
Ambassador Hai Kim understood that this negotiation was more than a diplomatic meeting.
It was a carefully orchestrated psychological chess match that would determine humanity's future. The human delegation entered the conference room with calculated precision. Each member represented a different aspect of human resilience: Dr. Park from medical research, Captain Lee from military strategy, Professor Kim from cultural anthropology, and researcher Choi from technological innovation. Hai began by presenting a comprehensive timeline of human achievements. But this wasn't a typical historical presentation. Each achievement was strategically chosen to demonstrate humanity's core strength, adaptability. She started with humanity's most challenging moments. The global pandemic. Climate change challenges.
Economic collapses. Each scenario showed how humans didn't just survive, they transformed and evolved. The alien delegation's sensory interfaces began displaying increasingly complex light patterns. They were processing information differently now. What initially seemed like a weak species was revealing remarkable psychological complexity. Captain Lee presented military history not as a story of conquest, but of strategic adaptation. He showed how humans could unite against common challenges, how they could turn limitations into strengths. The aliens watched, their communication patterns shifting from dismissive to genuinely curious. Professor Kim revealed human cultural diversity. Hundreds of languages, thousands of cultural practices, yet an underlying ability to communicate, collaborate, and understand each other. The presentation demonstrated that human difference wasn't a weakness, it was a profound strength. Dr. Park's medical research presentation was particularly compelling. He showed humanity's medical innovations, how they developed vaccines in record time, how they shared medical knowledge globally during critical moments. The aliens saw a species that valued collective survival over individual competition. Researcher Choi's technological timeline showed something even more remarkable. Humans went from horse-drawn carriages to space exploration in barely a century. From basic computing to quantum technologies in decades. The rate of human innovation defied the aliens' understanding of technological progression. Hai Kim's strategy was clear. They weren't just presenting facts. They were dismantling the collective's fundamental assumptions about humanity. The psychological warfare was subtle but devastating. Each presentation showed that humans were not a species to be conquered. They were a civilization of problem solvers, innovators, and unexpected survivors. The alien delegation's communication became increasingly complex. Their initial invasion plans were being systematically deconstructed by a simple, powerful narrative: human potential. Moments of human sacrifice were highlighted. Scientists who gave their lives for research. Medical workers who fought pandemics. Ordinary people who showed extraordinary courage during global challenges. These stories revealed a species driven by something beyond simple survival, a commitment to collective progress. Cultural examples showed humanity's capacity for empathy. How different nations came together during global crises. How scientific communities shared knowledge across political boundaries. How humanitarian efforts crossed cultural and geographical lines. By the presentation's end, the invasion plan seemed ridiculous. The aliens were no longer seeing humans as a potential conquest. They were witnessing a species that could potentially be a powerful, unpredictable ally. Hai's final statement was her most powerful psychological weapon. "We don't seek conflict," she said quietly. "We seek understanding." The room fell silent. The alien delegation's sensory interfaces pulsed with a complex combination of respect, confusion, and something remarkably close to admiration. Humanity had just transformed a potential planetary invasion into a negotiation. Not through military might, but through the most powerful weapon in their arsenal: their capacity to understand, adapt, and evolve. The final day of negotiations arrived with an atmosphere of unexpected tension and possibility. What had begun as a potential planetary invasion had transformed into something no one could have predicted. Ambassador Hai Kim sat at the circular conference table, her posture calm but alert. The alien delegation's sensory interfaces pulsed with complex light patterns, a sign of deep internal discussion that human translators could barely comprehend. Global communication networks were on high alert. Military commanders stood ready. Scientists waited with bated breath. The entire planet seemed to hold its collective breath, waiting for the outcome of these extraordinary negotiations. The lead alien representative, a being with multiple sensory appendages and a neural network visible through translucent skin, began the final discussion. Its communication suggested a complete transformation from the initial invasion plans. "Your species challenges everything we understand about developing civilizations." The translator device converted the aliens' complex communication. The words carried a tone of genuine respect. Hai understood this was more than a diplomatic meeting. This was a moment that would redefine humanity's place in the galactic community. The proposal that emerged was unprecedented. The collective was not offering submission or conquest, but a collaborative framework that would benefit both species. They wanted human innovation, human adaptability, human problem-solving capabilities. Technological exchange programs were discussed. Scientific collaborations that could potentially solve challenges both species had struggled with for generations. The aliens were particularly interested in human creativity, something their own structured civilization had never fully developed. Dr. Wu Chen, the lead technological expert, presented a comprehensive framework for mutual technological development. Where the aliens had rigid, established technological systems, humans offered flexibility, innovation, and unexpected solutions. Captain Lee from the military strategy team outlined potential collaborative defense mechanisms. The proposal wasn't about conquest, but about mutual protection and understanding. The room buzzed with an electric sense of possibility. What could have been a moment of planetary destruction had transformed into an opportunity for unprecedented interstellar cooperation. Outside the conference chamber, the world continued its normal rhythm. People worked. Children played in schoolyards. Traffic moved through city streets. Completely unaware that humanity's entire future was being negotiated in this moment. The final agreement was complex but clear. The collective would provide advanced technological support to help humanity address global challenges like climate change and resource management. In return, humans would bring their unique approach to problem solving, innovation, and adaptability. "We don't just want your technology," the alien representative communicated. "We want your perspective." Hai recognized the profound nature of this moment. Humanity was no longer seen as a potential conquest, but as a valuable potential partner in galactic development. As the negotiations concluded, something remarkable had happened. The power dynamics had completely shifted. What began as a potential planetary invasion had transformed into a collaborative partnership that could reshape both species' understanding of technological and cultural development. The alien ship remained in orbit, but its purpose had changed entirely. No longer a threat, it was now a symbol of unexpected possibility. Global leaders would soon be informed. Scientific communities would prepare for unprecedented collaboration. Humanity had just changed the rules of interstellar engagement. In the conference room, Hai Kim looked at the alien delegation. Their sensory interfaces pulsed with a complex combination of respect, curiosity, and something remarkably close to excitement. The unexpected resolution was complete. Humanity had not just survived a potential invasion, they had transformed it into an opportunity for unprecedented growth and understanding.